Hi guys, welcome back. Still under algebraic processes, we'll be looking at expansion of algebraic expression. That means when you are asked to multiply two algebraic expressions, how do you do that? Usually when one of them is more than one term. Usually when one of them is more than one term. So what we have here are some of the various ways it can appear and how you go about it. These are not all the ways, but when you get a when you get to understand how these guys work, I believe there's no algebraic expansion that should be a surprise to you when you come across them. Now, the rules are simple. When you have two expressions multiplying each other, you use each term of one of the expression to multiply each term of the other expression. For example, you can see what we simply have here is A multiplying B plus C. So I can write what we have here there as A multiplied by B plus C. Now this is one algebraic expression, this is another algebraic expression. So like I said, you use all the terms here to multiply all the terms here, or you can use all the terms here to multiply all the terms here. You have to take one first. So in this case, you are taking A to multiply the other two guys. And take note of the sign. Your A here is positive A, this is positive B, and this is positive C. So your A will multiply B, giving you AB. Your A will multiply positive C, giving you positive AC. Similarly, if you have A multiplying B minus C, A times B is AB, A times minus C is minus AC. Similar fraction, now you have a minus A multiplying B plus C. Minus A times B is minus AB, minus A times C is minus AC. Here you have minus A multiplying B minus C, minus A times positive B is minus AB, minus A times negative C is positive AC, because minus times minus is plus. So I can write this guy here. This guy here can be written as AC minus AB. I have not changed anything. I just took my positive AC first and my negative AB next. Now, what about cases where you have more than one terms? You can have three terms multiplying three terms, two terms multiplying three terms, as the case may be. In this case, you have two terms here, AB, you have two terms here, C and D. So each of these guys must multiply each of these guys, or you can use each of these guys to multiply each of these guys. So starting with positive A here, your positive A will multiply C plus D, and your positive B will also multiply C plus D. So that will give us AC plus AD, and this will give us BC plus BD. Similarly here, your A will multiply C plus D, and your minus B will multiply C plus D. So your A multiplying C plus D will give us AC plus AD. Your minus B multiplying C plus D will give us minus BC minus BD. Now in this case, you have A minus B plus C. So if we are to open the bracket, we are not opening the bracket with A. So pay attention, we are not opening the bracket with A. So let me write what we have here on the other side of the board. A minus B plus C. B plus C is in bracket. Everything here simply means A minus 1 multiplying B plus C. So that's the meaning of what we have here. A, this is minus 1 multiplying B plus C. So if I told am to open the bracket, I'm going to use minus 1 to open the bracket. So A has no business with the expansion of these guys, but A will subtract whatever you have here. So A will still remain on its own. Minus 1 multiplying B will give us minus B. Minus 1 of multiplying C will give us minus C. So this is what we have, and that is what you have here. So you are going to see some of this while we are solving questions. So always pay attention. It is the number very close to the bracket that will open the bracket. I repeat, it is the number very close to the bracket that will open the bracket. So A cannot open the bracket. The number here is 1, and everything here is negative 1. So negative 1 should open the bracket. So now that this is clear, let's use this idea to play with these questions we have here. So I'm going to be fast about it. I believe it's pretty straightforward. Now, starting with this first one, starting with this guy, this is 9 multiplying x plus 7. So if I'm to solve this, it will be 9 times x, giving us 9x, and 9 times 7, giving us 63. So that's the answer to the first question. Now for the other guy, what I have here is negative open bracket. So it means that what we have here is a minus 1. So minus 1 multiplied by 3x will give us a negative 3x. Minus 1 multiplied by 5y will give us a negative 5y. And minus 1 multiplied by minus 9 will give us a positive 9. Minus times minus is positive. Now in this case, I can choose to use negative 3 to open the bracket. But I know that what we have here are like terms. So I can also choose to solve what we have inside the bracket before opening the bracket. So whichever one you do will give you exactly the same answer. So I have a negative 3, open bracket, 4t minus t. We've done that in the previous video. This should give us a 3t because they are like terms, plus 2. Now you can't add 3t to 2 because they are unlike terms. So let's open the bracket. Negative 3 multiplying 3t will give us a negative 9t. A negative 3 multiplying positive 2 will give us a negative 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative times positive is negative. So that's the answer to that question. Now let's move over to this side to solve the remaining questions. Now what we have here is 7x minus 3 opening the bracket. So 3 will open the bracket in this case, not 7x. Sorry, negative 3 will open the bracket. So this should give us 7x negative 3. So because I know that we have like terms here, let's solve the like terms inside the bracket. 2x minus 4x should give us minus 2x because 2 minus 4 is minus 2, and these guys, they are like terms. So I have a negative 2x and I have a minus 5. So if I continue solving, this will give me 7x minus 3 multiplying minus 2x. Like we said, negative 3 will open the bracket. Negative 3 is multiplying everything here. Your minus 3 times minus 2x will give us a positive 6x. Minus 3 times minus 5 will give us a positive 15. Now 7x and 6x, they are like terms. 7x and 6x, they are like terms. So what is 7x plus 6, or what is 7 plus 6? Is simply 13. So this will give us a 13x plus 15. So that's the answer to this question. That's the answer to that question. Now let's move on to the next question. We have to start solving from what we have inside this innermost bracket. So if I move everything to this part of the board, this is 9y on its own minus open bracket. You have a 7y minus, now your minus 4 will open the bracket. Negative 4 times 2y will give us a negative 8y. This is negative 8y. Negative 4 multiplied by positive 3 will give us a negative 12. Now 7y and 8y, they are like terms, meaning that we can add or subtract them. 7y minus 8y is negative y. 7 minus 8 is minus 1, so that will give us a negative y. There's no need to write in a negative 1y. So this is 9y. This is a negative y minus 12. Now as you can see, 9y has no business with that bracket. 9y has no business with that bracket. However, minus 1 will open the bracket. Now, what is minus 1 times minus y? Negative times negative is positive. 1 times y remains y. So this is 9y. Negative times negative, positive. So we have a plus y. Now, your negative 1 multiplying negative 12 will give us a positive 12. 9y plus y is 10y. This is 10y plus 12. So that's the final, or that's the answer to the question. 10y plus 12. Now over to the next question. I think I'll have to wipe this part. Next question, we have 8xy minus 2 open bracket 5xy minus xy minus 6. So let's start with the innermost bracket, and negative 1 should open that bracket. So this will give me 8xy minus 2 open bracket 5xy minus 1 times xy is minus xy minus 1 times minus 6 is positive 6. So I can solve 5xy minus xy, they are like terms, and 5 minus 1 should give us 4. So this is 8xy minus 2 into 4xy plus 6 close bracket. Now I can open the bracket with minus 2. So this is 8xy minus 2 times 4xy is minus 8xy minus 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. 8xy minus 8xy is 0. So final answer here is negative 12. Now before I proceed, I forgot to mention something. We had something like this. If you have something like this, a plus b multiplying a plus b, this should give us a plus b all squared. Or rather, we can say a plus b all squared is the same thing as a plus b multiplying a plus b. And when you square a number, you agree with me that that number becomes a perfect square. When you square a number, that number becomes a square number, or what we call a perfect square. For example, you know that your 1, your 4, your 9, your 16, 25, all these are square numbers, or we call this guy perfect squares. And why are they called perfect squares? Because they have a perfect square root. So the same way we have for numbers, we also have for algebraic expression. So any expression that you square and it gives you a value, that particular value is called a square number or a perfect square. So if I'm to expand a plus b into a plus b, this will be a into a plus b. Then the other bracket, the other part, we have plus b into a plus b. So this should give us a squared plus ab plus b times a is also ab plus b times b is b squared. Now a squared b squared, ab plus ab is 2ab. So everything here is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So this guy here is called a perfect square. And why is it called a perfect square? Because you can find the square root and that will give you a plus b. So another perfect square we have is a minus b all squared, which is a minus b multiplying a minus b. And if you open this bracket, it will give you a squared minus 2ab minus b squared. This is another perfect square because it's the square of an algebraic expression. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's continue with our question. D plus 6, 2d minus 5. So if I'm to solve that, my d, we have to open the bracket, 2d minus 5. And my positive 6 will also open the bracket, 2d minus 5. Now let's expand. D times 2d is 2d squared. D times negative 5 is negative 5d. 6 times 2d is 12d. And 6 times minus 5 is negative 30. So this will give us 2d squared minus 5d plus 12d. That's simply 12 minus 5. That will give us a positive 7d minus 30. So I believe this is the final answer. There are no like terms here. Now the next question is x plus 6 all squared. X plus 6 all squared is simply a perfect square. X plus 6 all squared is simply a perfect square. So let's solve that here. X plus 6 all squared should give us x plus 6 into x plus 6. And that is x into x plus 6 plus 6 into x plus 6. Now x times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. This will also give us 6x. And this will give us 36. So 6x plus 6x is 12x. So we have x squared plus 12x plus 36. So when we get to root of quadratic expression, you will see why we also call this a perfect square, or you will learn more about perfect square as regard quadratic expressions. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question here is minus a plus 7 into minus 2a minus 3. So we have minus a plus 7 into minus 2a minus 3. Now negative a will open the bracket, similarly positive 7 will open the bracket. So this should be minus a into minus 2a minus 3 and positive 7 into minus 2a minus 3. Negative a times negative 2a, minus times minus is plus, so we know that we have a positive number. A times a is a squared, so we have 2a squared. Negative a times negative 3. Negative times negative is positive, so we have a positive 3a. plus, okay, this cannot be positive anymore because positive 7 times negative 2 will give us a negative 14. Remember, you have an a there, so this is a negative 14a. Positive 7 times negative 3 should give us a negative 21. Now we have 2a squared. 3 minus 14 is negative 11 with an a, negative 11a, then you have negative 21. I believe you can't factorize beyond that. Now the next question, you have a negative 7, open bracket, 2q minus 8, open bracket, q minus 2. So what we have here is simply negative 7 multiplying 2q minus 8 multiplying q minus 2. So you can choose to expand these two guys first before multiplying by minus 7, or you can also choose to use minus 7 to expand this guy before using your answer to expand this guy. So let's work with these two brackets first, then we'll multiply by negative 7. So we'll leave our negative 7 outside the bracket. Now working with these two guys, 2q will open the bracket, that's 2q into q minus 2. Then negative 8 will also open the bracket into q minus 2. Now my negative 7 will remain outside. 2q times q is 2q squared. 2q times negative 2 is negative 4q. Negative 8 times q is negative 8q. Negative 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. Then we can close the bracket. Now you will observe that minus 4q minus 8q, they are like terms, so we can expand that. So we can simplify that. If I simplify that, you have negative 7 into 2q squared negative 12q plus 16. Now there's nothing to simplify there, so let's open the bracket with negative 7. So if I do that, negative 7 times 2q is negative 14q squared. Negative 7 times negative 12q will give us a positive value. 7 times 12 is 84, 84q. Negative 7 multiplied by 16. So 16 multiplied by 7, this is 42. Put down 2, carry 4. And this is 112. So negative times positive is negative. So I have a negative 112. So that's the final answer to the question. That's the answer to the question. Then lastly, we are told to solve p cube minus q squared, then the other bracket minus p minus 5. So let's open the bracket with p cube and minus q squared. So p cube will go into negative p, negative 5, and minus q squared will also go into negative p, negative 5. P cube times minus p. P cube times p will give us p to the power of 4. Then your negative sign times positive sign will remain negative sign. So this is negative p raised to the power of 4. P cube times minus 5 is negative 5p raised to the power of 3. Negative q squared times negative p. Negative times negative is positive, so you have a pq squared. I have a pq squared. Negative q squared times negative 5. Negative times negative is positive, so you have a positive 5q squared. Now I believe there's no like terms here. This is p raised to the power of 4, p raised to the power of 3, they are not like terms. Pq squared and just q squared, no like terms there. So that is the answer to the question. So this is how you play with questions under expansion. Whichever way you see the question, just know that each member of one operation will multiply each member of the other. Each member of one expression will multiply each member of the other expression. So by members, I mean each terms of one expression multiplying each term of the other expression. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, use the like button, make use of the subscribe button, and also make use of the share button. If there's any question you wish to ask, leave that in the comment section. If there's any observation or wrong solving, also leave that in the comment section. Thanks for watching once more. See you guys in my next video.